The Flames have been playing some not so great hockey lately, and with the losses starting to pile on, I think it's safe to say that the Flames are out of playoff contention. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing to play for. In fact, there's actually a lot to play for. And because of this, this has huge implications on how the Flames will play for the rest of this season. Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here, you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe because over 82% of the people watching are not subscribed. So if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around the Calgary Flames, then make sure you subscribe and join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. We're kind of suffering together at this point, another season of mediocrity and not making the playoffs, but at least we can all be a nice community, and there's still a lot to play for the Flames. I know that that loss last night was brutal. Second worst team in the NHL, kind of dominated the Flames. I mean, the Flames got a lot of shots, but just could not get it done in Chicago. Brutal loss, but at least that, can kind of be the final nail in the coffin for the people who still thought the Flames could have a chance at the playoffs. But while the playoffs will not be happening this season, there is still a lot to play for. Now, for the majority of this video, we'll be looking at an article written by Sportsnet's Pat Steinberg, obviously a great Flames mind and a great man as well. I've had the pleasure of talking to him and he is fantastic. Now let's see what he has to say about what the Flames still have to play for and why it's, it impacts the Flames and what they'll do for the rest of the season. So let's start here with the Calgary Flames can be officially eliminated from playoff contention as early as Saturday night. For many, they were unofficially eliminated weeks ago, especially with the trade deadline. With 11 games to go, the Flames are playing out the string. And while this final stretch is going to feel largely meaningless, especially for remaining veterans, Calgary has to go out of its way to make sure that's not the case. The final 3 weeks of the season can't be a miserable march to the finish line. So for a lot of these guys who maybe don't have a lot of time left in their careers and want to win a cup who haven't, like a Michael Backlund, you can even throw Huberdeau in there at that point, and Weegar and others like that. It is kind of meaningless. Oh, great, it's another season where I'm not going to win the cup kind of thing. Obviously, players who have won, like Coleman and Kadri, they want to win as well again, but that won't be the case this season. But that doesn't mean it's done for a lot of these guys, especially the young guys. So let's continue here. It is Dustin Wolf's time. This is the biggest implication for the Flames for the rest of the season. When it comes to players with something to prove, Wolf unquestionably leads the way. And for the first time in his NHL career, Calgary's goaltender of the future has runway and opportunity. Wolf will remain with the Flames for the rest of the season after the team announced season-ending hip surgery for Dan Vladar last week. Now paired with Jacob Markstrom, Wolf's most recent returns have been encouraging. So Wolf has a chance. He's getting time up in the big leagues after he's done everything he can down in the AHL. And it's great. He can get good NHL experience while the games don't matter too much to the Flames. Obviously, any goaltender wants to win a game. Any professional athletes in general want to keep winning. I want the Flames to keep winning, of course. But it is good that, they kind of are losing a bit. It is a bit of a tank season. We can all finally say, you know what? Even if we do lose, there's silver linings. It's fine. If they finish bottom 10 in the league, that's great. They have a chance at a top 5 pick. But either way, a goalie's biggest stat is pretty much the win column, and they want to win. And Wolf has a chance to do that here now. Since being called up earlier this month, Wolf is 2-2 with a .929 save percentage in 4 starts. More importantly, he's looked comfortable and like he belongs at the highest level. While still early, the too small knock on Wolf hasn't been a factor on this most recent recall. Wolf needs NHL reps as he continues down his development path. Aside from a return for Calder Cup playoff action next month, there's nothing left for Wolf to accomplish in the American League. So at some point, obviously, he will be going back down to the Wranglers, help them on their hunt for the Calder Cup. The Wranglers have a chance for sure. They're in a very, very good division, so it'll be tough to go far. But, if guys like Wolf, Coronado, Pelche are playing for the Wranglers at that point, they have a better chance. And that's great experience for these guys, but they do need NHL experience as well, of course. Now, that's it for Wolf. Wolf definitely has a lot to play for, has to prove himself and get that experience. But there's another guy just like that. I actually just mentioned his name. It is Matt Coronado. So 2021 first round pick Matt Coronado returned to the lineup against the Blackhawks after sitting for a pair of games as a healthy scratch. There's no reason to scratch him again. In fact, Now's the time to elevate Coronado's role at 5-on-5 and give him some power play time. Like Wolf, he needs the reps before joining the AHL Calgary Wranglers for a playoff run. And it's just the truth. Coronado, the only way for him to produce more is to be given a better opportunity. Give him some better line mates. Give him some time on the power play. That's how good offensive players really, that's their bread and butter, right? That's where they can show what they are made of. And Coronado, I'm sure, wants that opportunity very, very badly. And he deserves it. You know what? He's played very good lately. He played an amazing game not too long ago. He's just been so good and deserves more of a chance. And I really hope they do elevate his role and he can develop more in the NHL instead of just getting very, very valuable experience down in the AHL. Now, I do want him to help the Wranglers, but at the same time, that NHL experience is so vital. Now, the last guy who I think needs to be elevated a bit, and Pat Steinberg wrote this, is of course, at this stage, the Flames can try things they'd be less comfortable doing in the heat of a playoff race. For instance, moving rookie standout Connor Zary. This is about Zary. To the middle for a stretch of games makes a lot of sense. Put him right down the middle. Give him that bigger role, and he can really show what he's made of. A natural center, Zary has played almost exclusively on the wing in his first NHL season. In dire need of future depth at the position, an extended run down the middle for Zary would be more than worth it. So true. It would be so important if Zary got, a bit of a bigger role, can show really what he can do in any position when it comes to the forwards, and show that he can be the centerpiece of this Flames retooling, I guess. Build around him, He's shown he is an NHL caliber player. Kind of came out of nowhere. He wasn't expected to be maybe a better prospect than a guy like Peltier or Coronado, but obviously he has a little more size, has a bit more to his game, you should say. There's still a lot of room for improvement and development, and he can do that at the NHL level. Give him these games that don't matter quite as much, and he might excel and really show what he is truly capable of and can gain that vital experience. It would be nice to see. Now, the last guy that Steinberg pointed out here is one who maybe hasn't had the best season, but these games are still important for him, and that is getting Rasmus Andersson's mojo back. It felt like Andersson was ready to cement himself as one of the NHL's top blue liners entering this season. He'd be the first to admit things haven't gone as planned, however. Relative to what he's capable of, Andersson has struggled defensively at 5-on-5. That's been more apparent since the subtraction of Noah Hanifin and Chris Tanev in recent weeks. And he's taken a step back offensively too. After consecutive seasons of 50 and 49 points, Andersson sits at 33 and hasn't spent time on Calgary's number one power play unit in weeks. With the pressure off down the stretch, the Flames are hoping Andersson can rediscover the swagger that makes him so effective. Right now, Miramanov is manning, quarterbacking, however you want to call it, the Flames' top power play unit. And I mean, he's pretty good. He's got a great shot, but this is very important for Andersson. He's more of a guy of the future for the Flames for sure. He's probably their number one defenseman remaining. I know Weegar has been excellent this season, but Andersson is probably that guy that Flames fans want the Flames to build their defensive core around. And I completely agree. Give him back the top power play unit. Noah Hanifin had it for a long time and did pretty good there. Miramanov has got a few points, but Andersson needs it to regain that confidence to show what he is truly capable of. And I sincerely hope the Flames do that, and I wish him the best, of course. Who doesn't love a little bit of razzle dazzle? Now, another thing to play for are the individual stats. I'm not going to pull any up on the screen here, but there's definitely guys, maybe more of the veterans, who they do still have something to play for. Even if it's, kind of a bummer that they're not going to win the cup this year, there's still guys who can hit some milestones. Now, the big one for me is MacKenzie Weegar. He has 17 goals, which is 2 off the league for defensemen in terms of goals for the season. Now, I really hope he can score more. He scored very recently again. So hopefully he can score and lead the NHL in terms of defensemen and goals this season. That would be amazing for him. I would love to see that, and maybe he'll get his flowers with a Norris nomination. No, that's just crazy talk. I'm no fool here. The other ones, Coleman and Sharangovich, I think they both sit at 28 goals as of right now. I'm sure both of them would like to hit that 30 mark. It's a little race to see who will lead the Flames this season, and it'll be interesting to see who does lead them. I think Kadri's at 23 as well, so 30 might be out of the question, but 25 is definitely a goal to set for him. And then Jonathan Huberdeau, I think it's really important for him to hit at least 50 points. With the contract he has, if you're not hitting 50 points, that is a major problem. So I think a goal for him and a lot to play for is to hit at least 50 points, if not try and shoot for 60 and have a very strong last few games of this season. Now, of course, what we're going to end with here today is the comment of the day. Now, yesterday's was more just hyping up my ego and trying to, show how great the channel is and everything. But this one is more revolves around the Flames. So if anything needs to change, it's Mark Savard running the power play. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked a lot about a big thing that Ryan Huska needs to talk about or had to talk about, and that was the Flames, kind of not being clutch in close games or anything. But it's true. If there's one big thing that needs to change, as much as I love Mark Savard, he was supposed to come in and fix the power play, but the power play has been abysmal this season. It was terrible last year as well. I think it might be time for Savard to exit the Flames organization. The Flames need to bring in a new power play coach, or at least really work on the schematics and draw up some better plays and try and get some chemistry going somewhere. I completely agree with you, Jay, on that one. I honestly, I couldn't have said it any better myself. It's just absolute fact. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and make sure you have a wonderful rest of your day.